So I have made mud cake. Obviously for carving, I prefer that. You could use butter cakes, like, then when you're using mud cake, then we have trouble in, like, so what will be the costing? How much is the weight and all that? Okay. So initially, if you are first time only going to carve and use, a structure cake and make it all by yourself, then mud cake is the first thing that you should do, like at least for like 2-3 times. Obviously, I wouldn't suggest like maybe make a carb cake and give it out to a client. Like, it's okay. Like maybe someone is asking you, like maybe make a ball theme cake, or maybe make an apple carb cake and all that bit, that you could do. Certain things you're very comfortable. But then if it is very complicated, obviously my suggestion is to increase your skill level, for which you need to practice, right? So when you are about to practice, at those stages is what I'm recommending to use mud cake. It is easier to carve, you could see, because the butter cakes, as you use the knife to just go around, you can't slice them, they just crumble up, they don't go in layers. So mud cakes are better initially. Later on, if it is given to me, like a butter cake is given to me, I'm going to tell, that wouldn't carve at all. That's not right. Butter cakes, yes, they do work. But then to start with initially, obviously, mud cakes. Okay. So I have a few number of this, like 3 of this baked 3 days before, and in the freezer, it's been out there now for about 2 hours this morning. You can see it is quite sturdy. And that is also another plus point with mud cake. They are dense, but obviously they are moist. So something that is dense and dry is bad, but dense and moist is really good. Okay, so I'm just going to toast this. Obviously, at the end, you want to eat the cake and you want it to be really nice. So, and first timers use ganache for filling. And generally also, like if you're working on intricate structure, if you feel like it is going to take up that time, little bit time, it is best to just keep it to ganache, and obviously not to use at least to start with perishable fillings. Okay, so I'm just going to keep it aside. I'm going to cut it into 2. I'm finding the half. I'm using the knife to go around and mark my half. And then I'm going to put the knife in. So when I baked this cake, I looked for the size of the bottom board that I have used there, because that's the size I just want to cover. Okay, so the toting is done. Obviously, you're going to catch up some crumbs. Let me clean up once I'm done with layering. Okay, so the structure comes in now. I also have the ganache with me. What I've added in here is 1:3 ratios milk, and also a 1:2.5 ratios dark. I've used compound. I could have used kombucha as well, no change at all. So I've mixed in milk. So what I'm trying to say, switch to the firmer side of the ganache ratio, which is 1:2.5. So everything is stable. They will be nice because the cake is moist and there is chocolate. You cut and eat, it will be really nice. Also, if you don't want too bitter, I don't like it when it comes to compound. I don't want it all dark. So I've mixed up milk. So there is 75% of milk ganache in the ratio of 1:3. I could write down the measurements what was used, and the remaining 25% is dark ganache in the ratio of 1:2.5. And then both are combined, and then I have the ganache here. Now I'm just going to because we have the structure with the center rod here, obviously now we cannot put in the cake layers from the top. We have to sandwich them, one on this half, the other on that half, and then sandwich together using ganache. So I'll be adding ganache here for the cake layer to come in. You want the cake to stick there. And on the inside as well. Okay, and you want the ganache to be quite soft. Now, after that is done, there are 2 layers already here. I'm just going to cut half. Okay, so I'm just going to add from both sides. Okay, so there are 4 pieces that I could just add. So I'm going to take the first one, and obviously I just need to push it in, for which I'm just going to find the position of the 2 PVC pipes that are present there. Okay, I'm just going to make space for this cake to go in. Okay, and then I'm also going to find the place of this PVC. Take it down and get the slices out. So first get the marking done. Okay, and then I'm just going to cut off so this comfort in just carving the cake wouldn't be there in the butter cake, but I could just push it out and then work in the way. Like after I have the practice, I'm just going to push it in a little more, for which knife, a smaller knife. So I'm just going to make some room here. That I first need it for, because these are the ones in the front, the PVC pipe that are used for the leg. So I've just cut down the extra sponge. I'm now just going to allow it to go in, push it in, and see where I feel the resistance, where I just need to cut in more. Then I would just go cut. Because now you need a proper seating place for this cake. The base of the cake should be properly seated on the board. If anything is stopping the cake from moving inside, you don't need that extra cake there. Okay, so you just need to create gaps, if maybe if you cut off extra, doesn't matter. We could just put in the slices of cake in. So I could see wherever there is resistance. And if the cake is obstructing from moving inside, then I will chop off that cake and push it in. So this side is just gone in. Here I'm just finding there is resistance. Okay, so it's moved quite a bit inside. There is a little hanging out, which will be carved out anyway. Okay, so it's come in halfway in. Okay, so I'm just going to apply some more ganache here. You want that sponge to stick well. If the ganache is dried out on that place, I'm going to mark despite creating enough space this time, because there I know that I had to have. So I'm pushing it in. Now, if I'm seeing this extra is just not allowing it to also move, because you want the sponge to completely go inside. So this difficulty will be there on the first layer, as there are 3 PVC pipes coming in between. Okay, so now they are meeting up, but then it is going to take a little bit of time for that sponge to settle down. With another layer of ganache, it will just be fine. Okay, so the first layer is built, and on top of that, I'm just going to add ganache. Here I'm going to make sure the layers are sealed together properly. I'm holding them together. I'm also getting the ganache here, touching the center PVC pipe as well. So once it stiffens up, then they all are going to be together and not move much. Okay. The chunks that I've just cut out will be useful if I'm going to add more bulk. I will be just making a cake pop mixture and add it to create. Okay, so now here I'm just checking where the center is and going to mark and remove off just the middle. Now this is just going to go and place itself well because we don't have the additional PVC there. Mark where the PVC is. Obviously, you also need to cut the sponge because the width is so much, so it wouldn't come together. So now this layer is also done, and another layer of ganache. Okay. So the sponges, the other sponges are toted, and I have it here. So let me start with one more layer because I want to build the cake and then come up all the way till the shoulders. Then this is a little smaller in diameter. This is 7-inch cake. And the one that is below is 8-inch. Okay. So this side is done. And the other side. I don't need too much here. I'm just going to, I could carve it out also. I'm just going to cut out the width. Just slowly reducing the width. You can see from here the diameter of the cake reduces. We don't need to build like, like the cake itself. I'm slowly going to taper down. Like you will not have all that bulk because the tummy will be big. You need a little more here. And then as it goes, we just need to taper it out. Okay, so another layer cutting into half. I'm going to reduce the diameter. So what I'm doing to reduce the diameter is, the sponge is there, right? I'm cutting it here because I don't need that this bit. Okay, I'm cutting it there and then I am cutting it in between as well. And then adding it here. Now I see I don't want it to go straight there. So I'm just going to cut out a little more here as well. I think I've added 2 layers. I'm going to carve it out here a bit so it pushes itself through the OHP, I mean the PVC pipe, and then go in and touch the layers. You don't want to have a lot of gap here. And in case you have that, then that needs to be sealed with ganache. No, pour. I could add the extra bits, the slices that I just cut out and attach it here to get the height. So ganache is different. I might have to microwave the ganache as well. I'm adding those strips together for building the height of this particular layer. I'm just leveling up. When it's been sliced out, it will come in as a single layer, so not to worry. So all the gaps are sealed. I'm taking in another 6-inch cake. Okay, pushing it in from the side. You just need one more to cover up the shoulder. Okay, so the last one. You just push it through. We will anyway be adding extra cake pop layers also, so doesn't matter. Okay, so the last layer is done. I mean, the layers have been built quite well.